I welcome you guys back into my course over here, which is course 215 from over 300 courses, although you understand that no matter what, that this one is how to prosper. I need you to understand that most people will never care about your music, and will never care about your face, and will never care about you, because guess what? Jesus will. I promise you that you're going to care about Jesus, because Jesus will care about you. I promise you. Most people just look at you and walk away, and will never look at your Instagram, and I never care, because guess what? I've got the wisdom. I've got the wisdom today. I've got the wisdom today. I've got the wisdom today, and I'm growing myself today, regardless of who's rejecting me. I don't care about who's rejecting me, because I'm growing. I'm better this day, and I can teach you how to become better this day. And if you reject me, you reject yourself. So make sure no matter what, you understand I'm giving you some knowledge today to give you some abundance. Because that's what I never reject myself. I never reject myself because I'm a person who understands freedom. I'm a person who understands to grow. I grow, and if you find a junkie inspirational because you go to a junkie house where it's a nightclub, then you're a junkie. No need to be a junkie today. I need you to be a person who understands that you never ask for people's attention, although you can go and stand and give yourself attention and stand in front of the crowd and let them show up, and guess what? It's worth it. I promise you, no matter what, that many people never care about you and never care about your story and never care about who you are because they're arrogant. And they're also egotistical people, and they never care about you. Although, guess what? I'll lift you. I'll lift you today. I promise you, most people never lift you. I don't care. Although, guess what? I will lift you. I'll lift you today. I care to lift you because I'm one of those great people who does. I realize that when you're a great person, you'll lift people too, because that's how you care. You care through lifting. I promise you that when people are just rejecting you and they never lift you, I promise you they never have anything for you. I realize that I never have anything for you, although I'll lift you. I realize that I am a person of greatness. I do something for greatness. I do something to be greater every single day. I always have to do it. I always have to make sure I'm doing better. I have to have a better.
The question is, have you slept?
Have you slept? I slept so much. I understand that sleeping is the way to go. You understand that enough sleep is the way to go. You have to understand each and every single time to sleep, and guess what? I realize that when you're a person who is really, let's say, doing a lot of meth today, I need you to understand to never do that. I need you to understand to never be on the meth. I never need you on the drugs either. I need you to understand you go and be a person who understands that sleeping is healthy and sleeping is productive. I need you to understand you go and prosper every single day. I need you to understand you be a person today who's very much more of a better person. You need to be a better person today who understands more courage. I need you to understand that most people are sick, and people are going to blabble, and people are going to do anything in their power to kick you down. I promise you, they're going to kick you down, and guess what? You have to get back up. You have to understand that you just never kick yourself down. You have to understand that if you kick yourself down, you're being kicked down by other people. I promise you that many people are blocking me from doing anything in life. I promise you they're trying to block you with money. I promise you they're trying to block you with laws and regulations of the world. I promise you it's just the Jesus laws that matter today. Thank you very much. I realize that Jesus laws is what I follow. I never follow the police laws. I don't care about the police laws. I care about Jesus. I care about Jesus' laws today. I care about being a better person. I care about lifting people. I care about doing something for nothing. I realize I thank you very much. I realize each and every single day I'm doing something to improve myself. I'm always a thumbs up. I'm always making sure I'm doing something that's going to improve myself, because that's how to prosper. I need to prosper every single day. I have to increase my skills. I have to increase the person I am in my heart. I have to understand there's always a better way where I understand that I can lift. I can lift myself to greatness every single day because I can communicate it. I can communicate greatness. I can communicate what a greatness person is. Because it's someone who lifts you. I promise you, those people care about you. I promise you, because they're lifting you. I promise you, they're lifting themselves. And those people who love themselves every single day are the ones who love you more. I promise you, you have to be around people. You have to be around people who are inspirational. And those ones are the ones who are loving themselves. You have to be around people promoting themselves. Because if you're promoting somebody else and you're promoting other people's companies and you're not promoting yourself, I promise you, you failed. I don't need you to promote other people. I need you to promote yourself the most. And guess what? When people come into your video and say, take a photo with me, well, they're going to, you promote them too. You understand that who needs to show up in your life will when you're more successful. I promise you that you never need anybody other than Jesus. I promise you that you just need Jesus and you have to study Jesus. I promise you the same way I promote information is the same way Jesus does, because I follow Jesus. I promise you that if you don't study from Jesus, I promise you Jesus will never teach you. I promise you Jesus will never teach you anything. You have to go and learn from Jesus in order to gain some knowledge from Jesus. You have to understand that everything in life is wisdom, and those people who have wisdom, and more of it, are the ones who are going to inspire. You have to be more inspiring today. 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 You have to be more inspiring every single day, because that's how I promise you, that's how you prosper. You prosper through being more inspirational. I promise you, inspirational people read about inspirational books. You have to understand, you go and read the inspirational books on the planet. Promise you they're leadership books, I promise you they're personal development books. Promise you they've got to do with knowledge and lifting up and being upbeat and being energetic and being a person of high intent. You have to be high courage, you have to encourage people, you have to understand to beat greatness every single day and have a better attitude in the process. Promise you, it's all about that. Promise you, it's about uplifting yourself every single day. You have to be that kind of person. You have to have the power within you. You have to understand you do have power since you're walking. You understand no matter what, you have to walk much better than today. You have to understand you have to do better. You have to understand that each and every single aspect of your life and each and every single moment of your life must be increasing your skills. You must increase your skills one way or another. You have to read something while you walk. You have to read something all the time while you're walking. Never just waste time. You always have to understand when you're eating something and drinking something, you're also reading something or listening to music while you're writing. I write and listen to music, or I write and I watch something and I take notes. Or else I invest in myself doing notes so I can understand to always give some more information. I'm always multitasking one way or another, so I understand I'm always going to compound interest in my favor. Because when I compound interest in my favor, I do something for something greater, and that way I understand that whatever's greater is inside, and whatever's greater is Jesus. You have to understand, you go where Jesus is, because that way you'll be greatness, I promise you. You need to be that kind of person who's always going to work in speed. You have to be speed, you have to be fashion. You have to understand that quickness is vital. You have to understand that those people who understand more information are the ones who are living life. I promise you, I lost 47 kilos being a vegan. I promise you, I turned vegan, I lost 47 kilos. I promise you, each and every single day, I learn something, I give an idea here and there, I help people to lose weight. I realize no matter what, I've lost weight myself. You understand that you can find me on Instagram, you can find my diets, you can find how I do everything. You have to understand that when you're interested in life, you're going to be much more passionate, because people who are passionate are more prosperous. Once you do your passion for free, you will have all the prosperity in the world. Once prosperity is all to do with freedom, and it's all to do with richness and courage and confidence. You have to understand that confidence is enthusiasm. And when you're doing enthusiasm every single day, you're doing it for free, you're going to be a person of uplifting integrity, you're going to be a person who understands to boost your knowledge every single day. You understand each and every single day you're going to get some ideas, you're going to get some ideas, you're going to get some ideas, you're going to get some ideas. You're going to lift your passion like that. I promise you that Jesus will only go where the information is, and it will only give you information, because that's the whole business. I promise you, the whole business is your face. I promise you, your brand is your face. I promise you, your brand and your company is your name and your legacy. I promise you, need a better legacy today. I promise you, need a better legacy all the time. You need to increase your high wisdom. You have to understand, you have wisdom today. I promise you, it's the greatest wisdom of the world. I promise you, you have wisdom, you go and give it. You have a story. I promise you, that's your wisdom. You have to give your story more and more. I promise you, each and every single day, I talk about my story and how I do my life. I promise you, every day I do my life, I do my life, I do my life. Every single day, much better. I do my life all the time. You have to understand, to go do you 24/7, because that's your job. Your job is you. Your job is your business to better yourself all the time. You have to better yourself every single day so you can become something greater. You always have to never finish, you always have to arrive better. You have to understand to finish better in your life. You have to understand to finish better is to understand much more. You have to understand there is no arriving. You have to understand there is just doing better. You have to understand you're becoming, you're arriving better in a way that you understand there is a better way. I promise you, what you're doing in life is contradicting life in terms. You have to understand, you have to grow, you have to grow, you have to grow. You never stay stuck on one thought. You change. You change your thoughts. You change your thoughts, you change your thoughts, you put them into video, you documentary your life, you put yourself into action, you put yourself into freedom, you put yourself into courage. You have to understand to learn about it, you have to grow in it. You have to understand prosperity is everything to do with compassion and leading other people. You have to understand to lead other people is to lead yourself. So you're all leaders today, although you have to lead more, you have to lead more, you have to lead more. You have to always lead more every single day to become something greater. You have to understand I have to put myself every single day in front of a crowd for 3 hours, and guess what? I benefit from it. I'm beneficial. I always understand. I'm always doing better. Thank you very much. I'm each and every single day doing something greater for the greater good, because guess what? That's prosperity. Every single day, I have to never give up, because there's no such thing as giving up in my life. Because I always have to push my emotions, and I have to understand that I'm much better than yesterday. And it's just let the time pass, and this too shall pass. I promise you, this too shall pass, and I'll be greater than this. But you know what? I have to put in the effort. I realize the effort is in the communication. I have to give you more and give you more and give you more in order for myself to really understand my work, which is communication. I realize I have to communicate and communicate and communicate to spin my integrity. You have to understand, I have to be more integrity in life. I have to spin the integrity. I don't spin the dice, I spin integrity, and I make sure to change my thoughts all the time. You have to understand, you have to be that kind of person. who's always going to practice something. You're practicing your communication skills, you're looking inside for the answers, and you understand the answers are all inside of you right now. All the answers are inside of you. You have to look inside. You have to look inside and help your life. You have to write it down. You have to write it down. If you write it in your mind, and you're always in your mind now, your head, realize that you're going to get ill. You're going to get mentally sick. And you should understand to write everything down. I was a schizophrenic before. Realize it was due to having nothing written down. I have to write everything down. I write it down on video, I write it down on audio, I write it down in a book. You have to understand to process your emotions and thoughts. You write it down. You teach something with your thoughts. Your thoughts are not even your thoughts. Your thoughts are somebody else's. Your thoughts are the 5 people you surround yourself with, which is your wisdom. You have to understand to go and get better wisdom today. You have to get better knowledge. You have to do something much more courageous every single day. You have to understand that each and every single day, you're going to do something much more than who you are. Because you're worth it. You have to understand you're worth it. You have to understand you're going to do something much greater today. Because guess what? That's the only way you're going to be greatness. You're going to be greatness when you're showing much more. You have to show much more. You have to be more. You have to uplift more. You have to lift yourself to be upbeat. You have to be upbeat every single day. You have to look up. You have to understand that prosperity is abundance and richness and being in your favor for something greater. You have to look up all the time. You have to understand it's all about that. You have to understand it's really about being stronger. You have to be stronger. You have to be much more viable. You have to understand that there is freedom in the world. You have to understand there's always a better way. You have to understand that the better way is now. You have to understand that confidence will help you. You have to understand you have to read. You have to read. You have to read. You have to read daily. You have to be that person daily to understand there is a better way than what you're doing today. Because you never ever work for money, you work for freedom, you be that kind of person who understands you're going to repeat it. I realize no matter what, guys, that my video stopped all day, guess what? I'm still never stopped. I'm not stopping for anything. Guess what? I'm always lifting myself, I'm always making sure I'm always prosperous. Because when you're prosperous, you're going to get back up, and you're going to understand to look at your video every single second, because your video may stop. So guess what? My video stopped because I may have really pressed on my beautiful microphone over here, and guess what? It's really my remote control. And guess what? I don't care, because guess what? I'm still doing some content over here today. I'll do some extra hours today, because guess what? I'm prosperous today. I'm something of greatness today. I understand that each and every single time you give something for nothing, you understand no matter what. I spoke for I don't know how long, although guess what? It never got recorded. And guess what? I don't care, because my wisdom recorded it. You understand? Because I never lost it. I realize it's my wisdom that's important. I realize that each and every single day, I do something, I make sure to record it, I make sure to understand, to always look at my camera now, to understand, to never step on my beautiful remote control, so I never ever lose information. I realize you never lose information, either way. You have your wisdom, you're always going to be more courageous, and you have to understand you still gain some attention, and you're going to understand each and every single time, to understand prosperity, which is leadership. You have to understand, leadership is gold. You have to understand, leadership is Jesus. You have to understand, where gold is, you understand inside. You have to look inside. You have to understand goldness is wisdom. You have to get some information today. You'll be more wisdom in today's world. You have to understand you go somewhere for nothing. You have to understand you go somewhere for nothing, and that way you'll be something more. You have to understand you never do it for nothing, you do it for something. You have to understand you go and do something much greater than yourself. You go and pound people with some positive information today. That's the only way to be something more. You have to be something more each and every single day, because that's what prosperity does. Prosperity is right now. And those people who have more prosperity are the ones doing so. You have to be a person who's much more athletic. You have to be more health. You have to be more vibrant. You have to understand prosperity is vibrance. And those people who understand vibrance understand the long life. Because you have to be long perspective. You have to give your whole heart and soul each and every single day to grow. You have to grow into the pressure. You have to understand I'm using my emotions to do so. I understand that each and every time I get some pressure today, I have to push my emotions to be greater. I have to push myself to understand there's always something more I can do. I understand it's about communication, because it's never about perversion. I never need you to look anywhere above. I never need you to look anywhere below the head. I need you to understand it's really look at the face much more than anything in life. I need you to understand that the face is important. I need you to understand that's what we're working for. I realize we're working for something greater. I realize no matter what, you be that kind of person who understands that greatness is found in wisdom, and those people who have more wisdom are the ones who are going to live better. You have to live better, you have to feel better, you have to do better, you have to live. I thank you very much. I have to. I thank you. I realize no matter what, you never ever copy other people, although you understand no matter what, you have to always do something to talk. You have to talk it up. You have to understand. To live the talk, you have to live the talk. Understand that each and every single time you do something to increase your strength, I realize that no matter what, you be that kind of person. You be that kind of person that's going to understand you. You have to understand yourself more than anybody. You have to understand that one woman went and done these. I realize I'm still talking so much in life. I realize no matter what, you go and be that person who shows her one of these, because guess what? I have to talk it up. I have to understand that no matter what, you be that kind of person who's always talking it up. Because talking it up is the best way. You understand no matter what, body language is key. You have to understand body language. You have to understand to never be negative and be a person who understands body language is yours. Realize that I have a dream, or else I can say it too. Although you understand Luther Martin King Jr. also said that. I have a dream. I have a dream today to make sure no matter what you guys score, get the best information today because I'm the best. I'm the best, and guess what? I'm always going to give you the best on my heart. I realize no matter what, each and every single day, I'll give you some ideas, I'll give you something to prosper from, I'll give you something of courage, because guess what? You need to be lifted today. And if you don't need to be lifted, I promise you then you're depressed. You need to be lifted today. You have to understand, you have to be a person who gets some encouragement from people. You have to understand, if you're not that type of person, you'll never live a life. You need to understand, you be that type of person who always has something of courage. You have to understand, to be in front of people and you understand courage. You understand to be in front of people more and more. And be in the spotlight today. I need you to understand, spotlight people will gain prosperity. I need you to gain more every single day and public speak and public speak and public speak every single day. And do something that you're passionate about and public speaker. Otherwise you can do it in a camera, you can do it in an audio, you can do it in a book, you can do it in a journal, you can do it in a quote. You can understand to write about what you love every single day. Promise you, what you love is prosperity. Promise you, what you love is abundance. You have to understand, you need more abundance in your life. You have to understand, you have to push yourself to communicate. You have to push and realize to grow. You have to grow yourself each and every single time you do 3 hours of content every single day. You're going to find the words to say. You're going to find something to say. And you're just going to give. You're going to never bleed. You're never bleeding out anything. You're just giving more and more and more encouragement, which is prosperity. You're getting more confidence to make sure you're more positive every single day. You always have to be more positive. You have to understand you have to do something much more in freedom. You have to understand what is important is you. You have to understand you have to do something greater today to understand prosperity. You have to understand to go and read more prosperity books. You have to understand to go and read more time management books, which is all prosperity. You have to understand more time means more prosperity. You have to understand you have to increase your skills in every aspect of your life. You have to do that for yourself, for something greater. You have to understand it's all about courage and wisdom and faith and having more faith in yourself to really succeed much more. So you understand you can do something greater like that. You understand greatness is key. Those people who have greatness are the ones who are leading. You have to lead all the time. You have to look at people too. You have to understand what they're doing. And guess what? When you understand that, you can also give them knowledge. And guess what? You give them some ideas about prosperity. You understand? It's the whole point of life to understand prosperity. When you're giving more and more and more, you understand generosity. Generosity is freedom. Generosity is prosperity. Generosity is abundance and richness. And when you're a person giving and giving, you also give more love. And that's also prosperity. You have love right now in you. You have prosperity right now. You have prosperity because guess what? You're living, you're talking, you're breathing. You look better than yesterday. You have to always look better than yesterday. I'm looking better than yesterday. I'm doing better than yesterday. I'm always making sure I leave room for improvement all the time. Make sure no matter what, I'm going to succeed today much more. I always have to be that kind of person. I always have to be something greater than I am. I always have to make sure that my schedule today is going to be absolute, much greater than yesterday. I have to realize that nothing is really absolute unless it's much better. You have to understand you always have to be much better, and I realize everything in your life must be spot on in a way you're going to be more. You're going to be more today, and guess what? You never be precise, although guess what? You are perfect, although you have to be better than perfect. You have to be better than who you are. You have to understand that you have to also do this. You have to realize that you have to also be in front of people one way or another, or guess what? You will never ever be on television. You have to understand you have to be something greater in life. You have to understand you have to be someone in life. You have to be someone more. You have to understand that you have to be somebody more. You guys are already somebodies to somebody else. You have to understand to be somebody more in life like Nikola Tesla. You have to understand, go and be something more than Nikola Tesla today. You understand, you have to do something great today. I promise you can do something great. You have wisdom, you have courage every single day to do something much more. And guess what? You're always looking in your heart and you're making sure you're going to lift her. You're going to understand you always have leadership. You have leadership today. I promise you it's worth it. I promise you have to manage yourself. You have to manage your behavior. You have to manage the person you are. You have to manage people. And you have to manage your love for yourself every single day for something greater. You have to understand it's really about that. You have to understand it's really about leadership every single day and doing something that's really encouraging every single day. I promise you it's deserving to understand that you learn and grow to yearn and grow. You understand? You learn to grow and yearn to grow. You understand? It's really about learning every single skill on the planet. You have to understand it's prosperity. You have to understand that smart ass people are going to be more prosperous. I need you to do smart work today. I need you to understand common sense theory, which is smartness, and go do some common sense work today. Because that's the best way to make more prosperity. You're doing something common sense. and that's going to make common sense. And regardless of how many people reject you and how many people never look at you, you're still going to leave a greater legacy behind. Because guess what? That's the whole point. I promise you, it's never about making $1 billion and trillions of dollars. I promise you, it's about being better than yesterday. I promise you, that's what prosperity is. I promise you, no amount of money is going to help you. I promise you, what's going to help you is yourself to communicate much more and more like I am today. You have to understand, that is what personal development is. I promise you, money will never do that for you. You have to do it. You have to put in the effort to succeed. You have to put in the effort because money's never going to put in effort for you. Money's never helping you to walk right now. You are doing it. You have to walk yourself all the time. You have to walk your talk. You have to be walking tall. You have to understand you have to be something greater. You have to understand that's the whole point of living. I always have to make sure I'm more courageous in front of people because guess what? I have to show up 3 hours a day. I have to show up 3 hours a day. I realize I have to show up 3 hours every single day to public speak. But thank you very much. Because each and every single time I'm doing something greater, I'm doing something greater to be the best version of myself every single day. I promise you that's everything. I promise you those people understand the life they must live are the ones who understand to learn more. They have to understand to learn more is to grow more. I'm always learning from my mentors and make sure that my schedule is much more better than yesterday. Because I've taught so much, although guess what? I have to teach more and more and more and give it to you for free. Because that's going to leave a great legacy. And Mother Teresa does that and Jesus does that and they give you all this information for free. And guess what? Their legacy is skyrocket because they never charge you for their work. I realize they never charge for your work because when you charge for your work, you're working for money. You'll be miserable. Because you never work for money in life. You work for something greater. You work for kindness. You work for peace. You work for something of happiness and something that's going to give you passion and drive and communication and more happiness in life. I promise you it's information. I promise you it's your freedom to live life. I promise you have to do something for free every single day. You also have to be here. You also have to be doing some public speaking today. You have to do some communication work. You have to do something that's really going to help you. I thank you very much. I have a very inspirational Instagram. You also have to do what I do on Instagram in your own way. You have to understand. You go and paraphrase and be unique today. Thank you very much. You have to be 100% much better than yesterday. You always have to be better than yesterday. You have to look better. You have to feel better. You have to understand there's always something more to do. You have to understand there's always something more you can do. So make sure that each and every single day you're doing something profound that's really going to help you with nouns or it's going to help you with understanding and experiencing something that you can self-evaluate every single day and write it down on paper because that's the whole point of wisdom and communication skills, which is also coming from the heart to make sure you're getting more ideas. You give more ideas every single day, probably that's going to help you and it's going to help you and it's going to help you to live life greater. You have to be a person who's greater. So give some more ideas today. I promise you that's what courage is. I promise you the courage is just lift people. I promise you it's just lift people and encourage them to motivate themselves much more. I promise you that is inspirational people. I promise you inspirational people look at you and make you lift. I promise you need to lift. You gotta lift. You have to lift. You have to understand you have to be a winner. You have to understand to say for yourself to understand you can really understand yourself much greater. You have to understand to even say come on in a way I say I come on. Otherwise no matter what I see later Hewitt says I come on. Otherwise when I do this, otherwise I never copy, although you understand I'm better than yesterday. And guess what? You have to understand yourself to do something greater. You have to understand to never entertain, although you understand to just make sure you're growing and growing and growing. Because that's the number one solution, is to grow. And find the solutions to everything. I promise you, just look at the solutions. I promise you find people who are solutionists. I promise you find people who are really successful and more successful than you. I promise you'll find people who can teach you. I promise you can teach yourself. I promise you the most. I promise you the most person who can teach me is Jesus. I promise you the second most is I promise you the third most is Tony Robbins. I have to? I thank you very much. Although when I talk too fast, I learn too fast. Otherwise, no matter what, I never slow down my communication because it's never about slowing down. Otherwise, it's about learning faster. And the faster I learn is the faster I grow. You have to understand. I talk faster and faster because one gentleman said to slow down my communication so that they can understand me. And it's never about that. I promise you, what's important is you never slow down your communication. You speak faster. I promise you, when you speak faster, I promise you, that's the best way. I promise you, the best way is speak faster and faster and faster and faster, and read faster and faster and faster and faster, and learn faster and faster and faster. Because you never slow you down yourself. I promise you, when people tell you to slow down, you speed up your learning because that's the only way. I promise you that I don't know what I'm doing, although guess what, I'm better than yesterday. And guess what, I looked at a person who told me to slow down and they're worse than yesterday. I realised I never have to listen to that person. I never have to listen to that person because they're worse than yesterday. I realised you never slow down your communication. You never slow down your communication skills because that person told me to slow down and I never slow down for anything. I never slow down. I realize that I'm always lifting myself, I'm always growing my communication skills. I realize that many people on the street even are going to come up to you and say, you must take away your public speaking, you must go away, you must throw yourself in the rubbish. I realize I've never thrown myself in the rubbish. I've got a heart. I've got a heart too. I realize that you guys are all deserving to be greater, and here I am to be greater. You have to understand. I deserve to be greater. I'm showing up in front of people every day, and how about you? You have to understand, I'm in the spotlight. I'm in the spotlight every single day. You think you're so successful, you go to public speak too then. I realize that no matter what, every day in public speaking, to become the best version of myself, I realize it's about I today in something greater. I realize no matter what, I'm going to lift you, no matter what. You think you're so good, you go do some public speaking today, you'll realize who I am today. You understand? I realize no matter what, you never get upset, although you understand no matter what, you just make sure that every single day, you're going to do better. You have to do better all the time. I realize when people tell you to shut up, you never shut up. Whereas when people shit on you, you never shit on them. Because that's the reflection of them, and it's never the reflection of you. You understand? You never be a person who tells people to slow down. You tell people to rise up. You rise up. I need you to lift up. I need you to be better than you are. I don't need you to slow down for me. I don't need you to slow down for me. I need you to speak better than me. I need you to speak faster than me, because that's the whole point. Realize that no matter what, it's always make sure you're dominating the conversation. You're never listening to them. You're just making sure that you're growing. You're just making sure that you're growing. You have to understand, you go where the growth is. Once you're in a dialogue, once that many people are going to speak to you about something. You have to understand this. Speaking to understand to no matter what, you're going to communicate something. And thank you very much. Because no matter what, each and every single time, you're going to communicate in a way that you understand that no matter what, you're going to grow. You have to understand it's about communication skills today. And each and every single day, you're going to communicate and communicate and communicate. Because when other people don't believe in you, they're going to say for you to slow down for them. You never slow down for anybody. You have to understand, you speed up your life in wisdom. You have to understand, you have to communicate more, and you have to do more videos regardless. You have to understand that when I do 100,000 words in 1 hour, and you do 15,000, I realize that I've done 85,000 more words in 1 hour than you. I realize I'm more successful. I need to speak greater. I need to speak faster. I have to do much greater than you. I realize that no matter what, it's never a competition. I realize I understand I have to do greater than I. I realize that when I do greater than I realize I'm in competition with myself. I have to speak faster and faster and faster to learn faster and faster so I can be the best version of myself. I never slow down for anybody. I never slow down for them because it's never about them. I realize it's never about them. I realize it's about being better than I. I realize you have to catch up to my communication because I have to be better than myself. I realize that is the whole point. I realize you have to be better than yourself. Because that is prosperity. That is what number one trait is. Number one trait is stating that you must do something better than yesterday. You must do something that's really going to be worth it. You have to understand there's always something greater you can do today than yesterday. You always have to be making sure no matter what you quit the drugs because the drugs will never help you. I understand that no matter what, I smoked cigarettes for 7 years and it never helped me. You have to understand that drugs will never help you. No matter what, you understand, you be the kind of person who is always encouraging people, and that way you'll always be better than yesterday. You'll be better than yesterday because you're worth it. You understand that faster talking means faster learning. You have to understand, you go and speak faster and faster to learn faster. You have to learn faster. You have to understand it's never a competition with you. I understand it's a competition with me to become the best version of myself. Whereas no matter what, that you can slice up communication. You can go through communication, you can decide, you can dissect it, you can be biology with it, whereas you can be biology with information. You go dissect everything. You go connect your vocabulary words together. You understand synonyms, you understand abbreviations, you understand what a comma is. You understand what a semicolon is, you can put it in your life. You have to understand that each and every single time you're going to lift, you're going to inspire, you're going to do something great. And guess what? Each and every single time you're never affected by the outside world because when somebody's smoking around you, you make sure to keep speaking. You have to understand, you keep speaking, and guess what? You never ever get affected about cigarette smoke and the pollution of the outside world. You just go remove yourself from the situation and you have a better life. When you have a problem, when you have a problem with the outside world, and it's news, you stay away from the news. Why are you watching the news when you have a problem with the news? I mean, why are you staying with that person when you have a problem with that person? You remove whatever is a problem. I promise you that's the best way. You have to be that kind of greatness in you. You have to understand, each and every single time, you have to be great. You have to do some great work. You have to show people thumbs up. You have to understand that you are great. You have to understand, you go and encourage people every single day to do something much greater than themselves. You have to understand, it's the whole point. I never slow down for anybody. I communicate faster and faster and faster to be much greater than myself. I realize that's the whole point. I realize it's always about I never die. I have a dream. I have a dream today that no matter what, you will be the best version of yourself because I'll give you all the information. And that way you understand that when you have the information, you can do so. You can always be the best version of yourself. You can always do something much greater. And you understand no matter what, that that each and every single day I show up for greatness, baby. I show up for greatness because guess what? Even when I speak, I make sure to record myself because that way you will learn something from this video. You'll learn how to do it too. You understand? To do it is to do it greater. I'm always doing something greater. I'm always making sure that each and every single word is correlating with each and every single word so I can increase my context, which is my vocabulary. I have to make sure I increase my sentencing each and every single way in a different way. And every single way, because that's multiplication. Because each and every single time you speak in a different manner, of course you're going to multiply and multiply and multiply. Thank you very much. You have to multiply your life. You have to multiply your life in growth. You have to understand. You change your communication. You change your communication. You change your communication. You can never be speaking the same. I thank you very much. You have to always be a person who understands different communication styles, which is doing difference and difference and difference in plus one. You have to understand. You have to be plus one. You have to be one. You have to be number one in life. You have to be, I thank you very much. Yeah, you always have to feel for right life. You have to.
I'll give you some weed later.
I have no need for weed. But no matter what, I'm a person who understands to stay away from the drugs because guess what? I've been on the drugs before and it's never the way. You understand? I'm a person who understands greatness. I'm a person who understands to be great. So you have to be great too because guess what? You have to be in front of people. You have to encourage yourself daily because that way you understand what I mean. You have to understand that no matter what, you're going to promote yourself regardless of how many negative people are around you. Although, guess what? There are more positive people in the planet than there are negative. And that's why we still have what we do today. Because guess what? There are still positive people in the planet who are doing positive justice. And guess what? We have to always understand that even the police officers are never on either side and just making sure that we are all safe. You understand? To be a person of greatness anyway. You have to understand always to do something great for yourself, for something greater. Because that way you'll be greater. You'll be greater every single day. You have to understand. You have to be showing your emotions every single day in a way you're going to prosper. You have to prosper every single day. You have to understand to show some courage today. And there's nothing to be ashamed about. You have to show your face all the time. You have to show your face in front of people and in front of more people. I realize that you never be guilty because when you're guilty, you'll also be in denial. And you should understand, you never be guilty and you'll be exposed today by exposing yourself in your book. Your book of life must be journaled. You must journal your story down and expose it more and more and more throughout time so you can be in the spotlight. I have to make sure every single day I journal every single day so I can expose my story more and more, so I can be in front of people more and more, so I can be less ashamed and so I can be less in secret and so I can show my finances and everything about myself because I've got nothing to hide. And that's why here I am, public speaking, because I've exposed myself 100% and I'm still exposing my life every single day as much as I can because that's the whole point of being in the spotlight. I realize that my journal helps me and you guys who are reading my journal are going to get so much ideas about myself and the thoughts I had. You understand that those thoughts are never me anymore. I'm just much more of a curious person today. I'm much more open and honest and I'm much more of a wholehearted person to give you free knowledge and free wisdom today. You have to understand that when you do understand something, you understand that you will also ask, do you understand me? Because guess what? When you understand much more than me, you understand greatness. You have to understand I'm always greatness. You have to understand I'm always doing something more. You have to understand that each and every single time I'm doing something for nothing. I'm always doing something for nothing because I never sell my work for money. I sell it for freedom. I sell myself for freedom all the time. I should understand that every single failure in life is no failure when you're growing. It's really about communication skills every single day and doing something that is going to help you to improve. You have to improve yourself every single day. You have to do something that's going to help you. You have to understand that what helps you is going to make you. You have to understand that every single day you've got something helping you. You have to understand that every single day there's always something that's going to help you to move forward. You have to be that kind of person every single day. You have to understand that no matter what's going to happen, you guys can hear me, although you understand that when you feel rejected, or that's it's because you are rejecting you. You never reject yourself. You never reject the person you are. You need more eyes and more throughout life to understand. More information is wisdom. You have to understand more information is going to help you to lead. You have to be that kind of person every single day. You have to be that kind of person who understands that you can see that the crowd never stops. You have to understand you never stop, although you understand I will lift you anyway, even when you stand here. You have to understand it's really about positive information every single day. That way you're going to be more positive. And I've seen you a few times, and I realize no matter what, you always make sure you're lifting people, even when you see a few times. You have to understand that no matter what, you always be that kind of person who lifts people, even a few times more, because each and every single time, you're going to be much more of a multiplication in your life. You have to understand, you just make sure you mind your business, and make sure no matter what, you are also loving yourself in the process, and you're never judging anything. You'll understand no matter what, you're just gaining some reactions. You understand that you can say, I've seen you a few times, and you just see his reaction or her reaction, and you understand to study people like that. You study people through eye intent. You look them in the eye, you see who they are straight away. Otherwise, every single time I scan people. I get a database I realize that I'm now much better because I see how to react much better. I see how to posture myself in a greater way, and I condition myself to make sure I can grow, and I make sure I never ever go around negative people. I realize that I make sure to go around people who are lifting me all the time. I realize that cigarettes is never the way. I realize that cigarettes is going to kill you. I realize I smoked 7 years of cigarettes. I realize that's never the way. I realize I smoked cigarettes and also done the caffeine for 5 years. I realized I had so much insomnia because of caffeine. I realized that I never drink caffeine anymore. I realized I quit cigarettes, I quit caffeine. I realized that's the whole point. I realized you have to understand to never ever smoke drugs or do anything of that nature. You have to understand it's really about freedom. I realize it's really about inside. You have to be inside all the time. You have to look inside. You have to understand inside is greatness. You have to understand inside is prosperity. I realize each and every single time I do a video, I make sure to just push my emotions. I look at my emotions and I ask myself, do I have energy right now? I realize that every single time I have energy, I can do it. I realize that when you have energy, you just keep talking. You keep talking, you keep talking, and you look for ideas. You're looking and you're scanning people, because scanning people is information too. And you realize how people react. You'll realize and you'll understand to go and react better. And you'll also lift in the process, and you'll be something greater. You'll do something greater. And understand that confidence is key. And those people who have confidence are the ones doing it every single day in communication, because communication is prosperity. And those people who have better communication skills have more action. They're doing more action today because they have great communication skills and vocabulary to do it. And thank you very much. You have to always do that. You have to understand to be that kind of person who has better communication skills, and that way you'll be looking greater. You'll be a person who has more health. You'll be a person who has a better mindset, because communication is key to everything. And those people who understand communication skills are able to do it now. What are they able to do it now? What are they able to attract anything? You have to understand, you go and manifest your life through better communication skills today, and the best way to do it is in front of people and just speak it out, and speak it out, and speak it out. I promise you, when you're teaching more, you'll communicate better. I promise you. The best way to communicate is talk more. Whereas I have to talk more in front of people to grow. Whereas that's the next step. Whereas the next step is do it in front of people. Whereas then, you do it in front of tens and thousands of people. Whereas that's different. Whereas that's a nuance perspective. You go and always talk and talk and talk, and you walk your talk. I promise you, that's called integrity. I promise you need more integrity in life. You have to be kind. You have to be kindness. You have to understand that kindness is prosperity. And when you're lifting people, you are very kind. I promise you, you're very kind when you're better than yesterday. I promise you, when you're looking better and you're feeling younger and younger throughout time, you're always going to be a person who understands freedom. You're going to be a person who understands to be better than yesterday. You're never going to waste time. I promise you, there's nothing to waste. I promise you, there's nothing to spend. I promise you, you're investing your time. You're an investor. I promise you that you have to call yourself an investor today to understand there's greater good in life, to do some greatness today. You have to understand to do some greatness today and lift yourself each and every day, to understand courage. You have to understand courage today, because no matter what, you have to learn about it. You have to learn about courage. You have to learn about the person you are. You have to understand to always give people attention, and you'll also gain the attention that you deserve. You have to understand that it's compound interest in your favor. You have to understand that each and every single time I have to level up in this video. I have to level up. So if I give you nothing, I realize that I'll be doing nothing. Otherwise, I have to give you something every single time, and every single second of 3 hours. I have to speak in a different way for 3 hours every single day. Honestly, that's called growth. Honestly, growth is communicating differently and differently and differently all the time, and look different, and have different habits, and do something new that you've never done. Whereas today, what I've done new is I photo shoot, although now I pump music with my portable speaker, and I learned to get myself another phone, which is an iPhone, so I can connect it with my Apple Watch, because I have 2 Samsung phones, and I'll get two selfie sticks. And because of that, I can also pump music with my Samsung A20 while it's connected with my Samsung A51 Galaxy. And that way I understand I have 3 phones, and the 3rd phone will record me as my music is playing with my portable speaker, and I get to have a nice beautiful branding photo show for 1 hour too. And I get to record myself for 1 hour, which is why I'll get myself a new phone, because guess what? The more phones you have, the better. You have to understand, I use 3 phones today. I realized I have 3 phones. I have 2 Samsung phones and 1 iPhone, because I have to have for business. I have to understand. I get 2 microphones too. I realize that I'm always a person who has technology to back up my business, to do something greater, because it's about recording myself. I realize that once I get my iPhone, I realize that each and every single day I can do some branding photos. I can record myself every single year for an amazing amount of time. You have to understand, I can record myself 356 hours every single year. That's the whole point. Every single time you do that, I promise you it's important. You have to be that kind of person who understands that for 365 days you can record yourself with a new phone while you photo shoot. You can understand to go and look at myself, or you can go and look at me, and in my eye on my Instagram, you can understand why I take so many photos, and I invest in myself in so many photos so I can brand myself as an entrepreneur, because I'm an entrepreneur. You have to understand, I'm a person who understands freedom. I'm a person who understands that I have more time freedom to teach people how to grow. Because the more you teach, the more you can teach. The more you communicate, the more you can. The more you do anything, the more you can do it. It's just make sure you're always in your emotions and living in your heart, that we understand that emotional freedom is the best kind of freedom. Emotions is EQ. That's what helps you live a greater quality of life. When you're poisoning your emotions, you're always going to live a low quality of life, because you're always poisoned. I never need you to be poisoned. I never need you to put alcohol down your temple. I need you to understand it's never about alcohol. I need you to understand that each and every single time you're doing something greater, and that way you understand to be free today. You have to be free. You never work for money, you work for freedom. You do something for free as a side hustle, and you go on the street after your work, and you go do it. You have to understand, you go do something amazing. You have to always change your ability, you have to change your talents, you have to change something in your life. You have to understand, no matter what, each and every single time, you make sure you have a pause here and there. You have a pause here and there to breathe. Although my breathing is communication, and the more I breathe, I have more energy to do so. I realized when I was a smoker, I realized I was never able to breathe. I was 47 kilos heavier than this, so I was 130 kilos. I was 130 kilos, I dropped it down to 67, and I have more energy because of that, and also because I quit smoking. I have also more breathing capacity, and I fixed my nose, which was broken for 19 years. I had asthma for 19 years, and guess what? Now I can breathe totally. I can really invest my life in a greater way this time. So make sure you never jump out of a car like I did at 5 years of age. I jumped out of a car at 5 years of age. I broke my nose for 19 years. And guess what? That's not the point of life. The point of life is never hurt yourself. Whereas I was a kid, I'm still a baby. I'm getting younger over time, because I'm never aging older. I'm never old. I never ask people, how old are you? I ask them, what is your age? Because the age is now anyway. You have to understand, your age is now. You have to understand that each and every single time you communicate, you're leading people in a different way. You're going to be nice and curious about people. You have to understand to be nice with people, and that way you understand to be a nicer person. You have to understand that each and every single time you're going to lead people for greatness. You understand that for greatness is key. You understand that people today must always be better. You have to always be better than who you are. You always have to look better. You have to feel better. You have to be more courage. You have to have more strength and vitality each and every single day. You have to always do something that's going to help you today. You have to be that kind of person. You have to understand that each and every single time you're looking better, you're never looking down, you're looking up. You have to look up all the time. You have to be always doing better. You have to understand greatness is in you. You understand each and every single time you're going to do something to encourage and uplift people, and you're going to be that kind of person all the time. When you uplift and encourage people, you're going to also be uplifted. That's the best way. You look better, you be in style, you be in much more fashion, you look better, and you make sure that you're never cocky, because cockiness people will never make it better. You have to understand, cockiness is ego. And those people who have ego have to overcome their egos. You have to understand, you have to overcome your ego. I have to overcome my ego every single day. I have to understand there's always a greater way. I realize no matter what, the greater way is inside. You have to understand always to ignore the negativity, because the negativity never matters, and what matters is positivity. You have to be that kind of person who understands that many people are going to resent you because of something. You have to understand that when you're doing something, you'll be better than nothing. You have to be something in life. I need you into something. Initially, be into yourself every single day. I need you to laugh more and more with people. And then I need you to laugh at people, and I need you to laugh with them. And you should understand that prosperity is always making sure you're laughing with people, and making sure that you do better in your communication style. I realize that they may say there are 7 leadership types. I realize there's only one. I realize that it's only be better than yesterday. I realize that there are 7 communication techniques they are saying, although it's really just one communication technique, which is just be better than yesterday. I realize it's just one step. I realize it's just one step. I realize you can do it within 5 years. You can understand that I did it within 5 years. I became better than yesterday. You can lose 47 kilos in 32 months. I've done it. I realize no matter what, you be a kind of person. I became a vegan. You'll understand no matter what, you go and show a much greater deal of love. You have to understand that each and every single time people reject you, I realize that it's because they never believe in you. You have to understand that you never believe in me, you believe in something greater, because I'm here to lift you. Otherwise, I've lost 47 kilos being a vegan. You have to understand no matter what, you also can too. You have to understand it's really about being something more. You have to do something more. You have to understand that those people who do something more have prosperity. I promise you, that's what it's all about. I promise you, you can look through people with their emotions. You can understand all of their energies. I promise you, the person who has more energy than everybody is more of a leader. I promise you. You have to be that kind of person. You have to be that person who has more energy. You're never making fun of people, you're making yourself in your heart. You have to be in your heart all the time. You have to look at people in the heart. You have to look at people with your body. You understand? You have to use your body all the time. You have to look at people's reactions and you have to absorb their data and who they are. You understand that each and every single person is different and you can also be different at the same time. Probably your emotions can absorb the whole room. You use your emotions, you use your surroundings and you absorb it. You absorb the body language. You look at the body language of people, you understand what I mean? I promise you can always see body language and who people are with how they walk and how they talk and how they are, and if they are looking at you and if they're not looking at you, although you understand you're lifting anyway and you're being a positive person in the process. You have to be positive. You always have to lift yourself. You have to always look at people in a positive aspect. You always have to do something better. You have to realize there's always something better to do, and I realize it's always that I have to do better. And I realize no matter what, you be a person who understands that this gentleman over here is saying, don't you have something better to do? I realize that this is the best thing I can do, which is growing myself all the time. You just be a person who understands that you're a person of high intent. You're a high intent person. You understand no matter what, you're looking people in the heart. And guess what? You're also using the you in action. You must be great today because guess what? You are prosperous. You have to understand you are prosperous today. You're living today. You understand you have to do something much greater. You have to understand you absorb the whole room. When you see them, you see a lot of people coming towards you, you absorb with your emotions. You push your heart all the way down there, and you push your heart 3 kilometers down there. You understand so you can see everything with your heart. Because your heart can absorb so much information. Because you never poison your heart with cigarettes. Because you never poison this over here with cigarettes. And promise you it's never worth it. Because what's worth it is making sure that you're never lazy. You're never lazy. You're never a couch potato. You're making sure you're looking much better. You understand? It's about that. I realize that it's much better to look better because that's prosperity. Probably those people who have prosperity are the ones who are lifting. You have to be a lifter. You have to be a person who understands freedom. You have to understand freedom every single day. You have to understand what freedom is. It's time management. You have to understand time management is freedom. You need more time management books today. Probably you do. Probably you need to read more. Probably thank you very much. You have to be that kind of person who reads more so you can understand more. You have to understand more is to have more prosperity and awareness. Probably awareness is prosperity. Probably those people who understand prosperity are the ones who are abundant. You have to be a life coach. You have to be something of a life coach. You have to understand to be a coach for something. You have to understand to go and do it for something greater than you. You can go and leave a legacy behind. Obviously, that's the greatest thing you can do today. Obviously, you can do it on the microphone. You can do it with a guitar. You can do it with electronic music. You can do it with something. You can do it on the street. You can leave a legacy behind on the street. Because every single day I do this for 3 hours. Over the next 73 years, I do 9 years of content with video. Well, that's a lot of work. Well, that's 9 years of video work. Well, that's amazing. Well, no matter what, you guys have to also make sure you do more than 3 hours on the street. You have to realize that you can go and do much better than me. You have to realize it's really about communicating with the heart and looking at people and understanding them and enjoying them. And realize no matter what, you're always enjoying yourself and you're never being fake. You're just always uplifting. And thank you very much. And you're being a person who has more attention. You have more attention span. You're doing something greater. You're looking people in the heart. You're looking with the heart. You're using your emotions. You're using emotions because that's what's important. I promise you, that's what's important. I promise you, the important aspect of life is bring people with emotions because some people are going to give you a nice little stare and you can understand the fake about it. I promise you, some people are actually going to give you some attention and you can understand those people are your friends. You have to understand your friends are the ones who are growing you and also complimenting you. I promise you, when somebody says, what are you doing on the street, man? I mean, don't you have anything better to do? I realize that the best thing I can do is grow myself and my legacy. That's the best thing I can do. I realize that every single day you grow your legacy, I'll always grow you. I'll always make sure I give you every single business technique in the planet that you ever need to do it for free. Or you can find on Instagram. You can understand that each and every single time, I absorb all of you. I absorb all of you with my emotions. I see everybody, how everybody walks. I understand everybody and who they are by how they walk and how they talk and how they live. I can understand my heart can read you right now. Realize my heart can read everybody who's walking right here. I understand my heart just absorbs you. Realize that is the whole point of people studying and also case studying and also speaking on the street and making sure you pronounce yourself better and doing better all the time. I realize you have to make sure and be making sure that you're healthier throughout time because that's looking younger. You have to look younger, you have to feel better because McDonald's will never help me look better. And understand no matter what, you be that person who understands to go give you advice for free. You give advice for free, and guess what? I'm doing better in this state, so I deserve to speak up all the time. And to understand that you have to be that kind of person. You're giving advice all the time. You're giving advice even when people never ask for it, because guess what? They walked your way anyway. And guess what? You're always a person who understands when you're giving advice, you're giving some ideas, you're giving some wisdom, you're giving something to recognize, you understand? Because you have to be that kind of person. You have to be the kind of person who understands love. You have to be the kind of person who understands freedom. You have to be free, and more free all the time. You have to always be something greater. You always have to do greater than yourself. You have to understand there's always something better to do. You have to be that kind of person who understands more of a life. I promise you, the more of a life you have, is the more prosperity you have today. You have to be that kind of person today who has more prosperity, and you have to find it in yourself and give information. That's the best prosperity. It's giving. Giving is prosperity. Those people who understand prosperity are the ones that are giving it. You have to give what you understand. You have to give what you see. I promise you, what you see in life and what you've made common sense in your life, you have to go and teach it. You're going to teach your common sense. You do it on video every single day for 3 hours in public. You do a public speaking event every single day. You teach common sense every single day. I promise you, it's worth it. I promise you, a little kid can be over here. I promise you, they're all babies. I promise you, they're all babies. I promise you, everybody can do it. I promise you, everybody can be on the street and do some street performance and make sure that they are all. I realize they make sure they're recording it. And that way you understand that there is no rejection over here. Because I'm using my heart, because my heart never gets rejected. I'm never rejected with my heart. I understand that each and every single time, I'm a person of freedom, I'm a person of choice. I have a choice to be here, to better myself, to understand I have to be better than myself, to understand I have to give you some skills, because when I give you some skills, I understand I can always do better. Thank you very much. I'm always doing something better than myself. I'm always making sure that there is something more I can give you, because when I give you something more, you'll have more. And that's the whole point. I realize I feed you with some love today. I feel your soul with some wisdom that's much better than yesterday. I realize I'm always much better than yesterday. I'm looking better than yesterday. I promise you, that's what a leadership quality is. I promise you, it's called better than yesterday. You have to be better than yesterday, and that's your whole vision, your whole life. I promise you, just be better than yesterday, you can do it within 5 years. I promise you, it's that simple. I promise you, it's just learn and learn and learn. You have to learn every single day. You have to understand to absorb everybody's emotions and how they feel. I can do it with my heart right now. My heart can really sense who you are. I realize I can understand you straight away. Because each and every single day, I understand who's fake and I understand who my true friends are. I understand that most people will never ever care about you. I realize that 1% of the people who have walked past me have given me, I realize they're giving me attention, although 1% have really given me attention. You have to understand that you go being a person who understands that only 5% of the people, I realize that only 5 people out of the 5, I realize 5 people out of the 50,000 people have been really negative on me. So realize that you go and be a person who cherishes yourself the most with Jesus Christ today. You need to understand that Jesus matters today. You need to walk with Jesus every single day. You have to understand that every single day you have to do something that's really going to connect you in a better way. You have to always look at the crowd. You have to sense out the crowd. You have to sense out who people are. Because guess what? That way you're going to always be a public speaker. You're looking at the arena, because the arena is like this. You have to understand. You go and absorb information, and you understand you have the dialogue, which is you, and you have to have a better dialogue today to have better habits. Promise you, that's the whole point. Promise you, the whole point is being more sophisticated. I realize that when you're a sophisticated business investor, as Robert Kiyosaki says, promise you, that means you have to go and be conscious about where your money is going. Promise you, your money is your wisdom, and if you're giving more wisdom in life, promise you that you're the person who is going to create some more courses today. You're going to create 50,000 hours of courses. You're going to give it for free, and you understand you understand what a sophisticated investor is. You understand that your money is important when you are giving much more than money. You have to understand, you never work for money. I realize that money is wisdom. Promise you, that's all the money in the world. Promise you, it's really big, better than yesterday. Promise you, that's what you must cherish. You must cherish yourself in a manner that's going to help you. You have to understand that you're never getting older throughout time. You're never looking old, you're looking younger than ever. Promise you, that's the whole point of living. Promise you, the whole point of living is looking younger and younger throughout time. You have to understand to be that kind of person every single day. You have to always make sure you're never afraid, because there's nothing to be afraid of. You have to understand there's always something better to do. You can always do something better. You can always be something better. You can always do your heart. You can always make sure your heart is something that is going to be prosperous, because those people who are prospering are the ones who are worth it. You have to understand, you're going to be more prosperous today. You have to understand that your heart matters. So make sure you have a better heart today by giving more information. You're giving more information, you're giving more of who you are, and that way you understand more courage is you. No matter what, you have to be more courage. You have to understand encouragement. You have to be encouragement today. You have to do encouragement every single day. You have to always understand there's always more freedom that you can do. I promise you, there's always much more that you can do today to live your life. You have to be much greater than yourself. You have to be a person who's always laughing with people, and that way you understand to never tease and never bully, because that way you'll be a prosperous person. Promise you, that way you understand what I mean by communication skills, because guess what? I'm absorbing the whole crowd. I'm absorbing the whole tunnel with my emotions right now. I promise you it's working. I promise you what is working is I today. I have a dream today. I have a dream today to make sure no matter what, you guys are going to prosper. I love you. I love you. Because no matter what, you be that kind of person all the time who understands to even say I love you all the time. I love you guys. Because guess what? I'm here to uplift you. I'm here to give some knowledge. I'm here to make sure no matter what, you guys have what you deserve, which is a much better lifestyle. Because guess what? That's the whole point of living. Which the whole point of living is making sure you're prosperous and looking better than yesterday, and making sure you're never negative, and making sure you're staying off the drugs, because that way you'll be more prosperous. You'll be a person who understands feeling, because feeling can be in the space around you. Feeling can go anywhere. You're just flowing with feeling all the time. You're always a person who understands freedom. You're always a person who understands to do something much greater than yourself. I realize no matter what, you always be that tone of person who has a tone. You have a tone all the time. You're always making sure that you are lifting, and that way you understand, you always have freedom. And that way you understand that she loves you also, and guess what? When she loves you, you're going to lift her, and that way you understand it's sex after marriage, even when she loves you. Promise you no matter what, you be that kind of person who has more attention every single day. And you understand that this video is an amazing video because I've learned so much, although you understand that I now can do much more. I can do much more. I can really understand that the time is now. Whereas the time is now to understand that I'm successful. I have so much more to give, and you have to understand that it's the whole point of life, to give more. You give more, and you shall receive more. You have to be that kind of person all the time. You have to be that kind of person who's giving, and you will also reap. And you have to sow, and you have to understand that you also gain what you sow. You have to understand you be that kind of person today who's always going to have an uplifting mentality today. That way you're going to increase your courage and sureness and certainty in yourself, and you're going to be mentalicious today, which is lifting. You're going to have to be lifting today, and you have to understand there's always a greater life than what you're doing. You have to understand there's always something more you can do. You can always be in your heart today, you can always be in emotions today, you can always be freedom today, you can always be something of value. You have to understand you have value today, you're going to give it for free. I'm giving it for free now. I'm doing it for free. Because I never work for money, because to work for money is to work for misery. Realize the money never makes you happy. Realize money never makes you happy. I didn't care about the government allowance. Realize that you also never care about the government allowance, because that's never going to get you up in life. You have to understand that what gets you up is your courses. I promise you, you need to go and be up in life. You have to understand you never rely on the government, you never rely on anybody to give you money. You have to understand you go and just give your heart and soul in information, and you'll also be provided for. You have to understand it's the whole point of living. You have to understand the whole point of living is to be more business-like and make sure you're public speaking every single day, and that way you will be creating your legacy all the time. Understand your legacy is important, and you have to be in front of people to do so. You have to always public speak something, which is your story. You have to understand, you give your story every single day, you can do it because you're a smart ass, and that's how we love it. I need you to be a smart ass every day, because that's how I love it. Realize that the smart ass is always going to help you. You have to be that kind of person all the time. There's always a smart ass. You have to understand, a smart ass person is going to connect the dots, which is the vocabulary. You should understand to connect the vocabulary together. That way you understand, absorb the room. You absorb the room all the time. You're going to look at everybody. You look at everybody with your heart. You have to look and connect the dots together. You're connecting the dots together. Promise you that way you'll be more prosperous. So promise you there's always something more you can do. Promise you there's always something more you can do. Promise you every single day you're going to be more courageous. Promise you every single day you're going to be more courageous. I promise you every single day you're going to be more courageous. I promise you that's the whole point of living life. And you should understand to encourage that. And you should understand to encourage yourself through everything that's better. I never need you to use the if and but. I never need you to say if only. I never need you to be a kind of person. I need you to lift. I need you to understand there's lifting in you. I need you to have inspirational day. I need you to understand that's what you need every single day. I need you to understand you need to be smart today to understand greatness. You have to be greatness every single day, because that way you're going to really lift. You have to understand you have to really lift yourself. You have to be that person every single day to understand that you need freedom. You need to absorb everything. You have to understand when you're looking at people, you absorb the room with emotion, because that way you're going to read everybody. Promise you, that's what it's all about. Promise you, it's all about freedom. Promise you, when you see people and how they are, you absorb them with your emotions. You absorb the whole room. I'm absorbing this side now. I'm absorbing the whole room. Absorb with my heart over here. Because that way I understand the communication techniques. So thank you very much. Whereas each and single day, you have to always love yourself. You have to love yourself every single day. You have to understand that it's about absorbing your heart and making sure that you're absorbing the around systems. You have to understand the around systems is surround systems. You have to understand you go and surround yourself with positive, like-minded people. And understand there's always a better way than what you're doing. I need you to always look greater. I need you to feel greater. I need you to understand there's something more that you can do that's going to help you today. Because that way you understand freedom. Freedom is you. You need more time for management today, and that way you're going to live a longer life. And you have to understand to read about living a longer life, and you have to be a smart ass today to do some smart work, to do some common sense work, because that's what smart ass is. Smart ass is called common sense. I need you to be a common sense person today. I need you to lift people. I need you to lift your legacy today. I need you to lift your name today because you deserve it. You deserve your name to be big. You have to be big time. You have to be big time all the time. Understand? To be big time, you have to understand to be inspirational. See at the top, as Zig Ziglar says. You have to understand, you have to be that kind of person all the time. You have to be that courageous person. I feel stronger right now because guess what? I'm always absorbing the crowd around me. I look at the crowd over here. I look at the crowd. I see the crowd. I see the crowd. I see the crowd. I'm always lifting either way. Because guess what? I love life. I love life all the time. I'm making sure I absorb people around me because that's what attention is. You have to understand that the thrill of life is to have attention on you. You have attention like this, you look at people in the eyes, and guess what? You're lifting, you have a nice beautiful posture, you're using your emotions to look at the crowd like this. You're just absorbing the crowd, you're absorbing the attention, and that way you understand the attention is what matters. You have to understand when you have attention and you can be in front of the spotlight, you have more prosperity. You have more prosperity when you have more eyes. When you have a poor rapport, you're a person who's never doing public speaking on the street. You have to do some public speaking on the street. I do 90 hours of public speaking work every single month. And that way I understand I'm getting stronger. I'm getting stronger. I'm getting stronger. Because guess what? I'm doing public speaking. I'm doing public speaking on the street. I understand that my clear intent is to be greater. I have to be great all the time. I have to understand that uplifting is ideal. And as Earl Nightingale says, the best worthy ideal is to be leadership. I need you to understand you go be leadership today, and that way you'll be somebody more special. I need you to understand to be more special for something greater, and understand that nobody else will fulfill you except wisdom. Promise you, wisdom will do everything to lift you. Promise you, wisdom will lift you. You just need to be that kind of person who always giving wisdom. You have to give wisdom every single day. And you have to expect yourself to be greatness. You have to expect yourself to do much greater. I realize I see a bunch of people, I just absorb them all with my emotions and my heart. I realize I can read all of them. I realize what's going on straight away. I pick up some data, I pick up some databases over here, and that way I'm always encouraging myself to grow. I'm always encouraging myself to be the best version of myself. Poetry, that's what it's all about. Poetry, it's about freedom and having more eyes on you, because you can see, no matter what, I'm always courageous because I'm encouraging. And to encourage yourself is to also have courage. You have to understand, to encourage yourself every single day to do better and better and better. You have to always be that kind of person. You have to be that kind of person to inspire yourself. You have to always make sure that when you're a person who's positive, you're going to be understanding that there's a better way. You have to understand there's always a better way than what you're doing today. You have to always inspire. Probably when people are jealous of you, probably they'll say, go sleep. Or else when you go sleep, you just make sure you're public speaking more. Or else every single time you stop and stand, you understand to grow with me. Because guess what? It's about positivity today. Because guess what? Those people who grow are the ones who are leading. You have to lead all the time. You have to make sure each and every single time you're going to grow younger. You have to grow younger. You have to be somebody much more healthier. You have to understand, I've done over 300 hours of courses in videos. You guys can check me out. I realize no matter what, I'm giving positivity today. Because that each and every single time you have somebody stopping, you just make sure no matter what, you give them attention. Because that's the point. Because the whole point is to give some more people attention. And that way you understand no matter what, your business is information. The more information you give, the more you get. You have to understand. You go and get information. You go and give it. You understand that when you're giving something, you're getting it. You have to understand that you just be a person who's observing, and that way you understand you're observing the mind. The mind is never your mind. Your heart is never your heart. Although you understand you're from something greater. You're from something beyond the world. Your soul lives in the body. You're a divine being today. You're divine. You have to understand the divine nature is to live and inspire today. That's the whole point of living life. The whole point of living life is to absorb the room, and that way you understand to be a public speaker. And to be a public speaker today, and that way you understand to increase your audio length and video length and writing length, and that way you understand to communicate better and better you communicate is the better you feel. You understand? It's really about that. You be a smart ass today, honestly you can be a prosperity person today when you're a smart ass. You have to understand that you always do some common sense work today, and you do better and better throughout time, and that way you understand, every single day you understand you must do some common sense today to prosper. You have to prosper every single day. You have to understand I push through my limiting beliefs over here, because guess what? It's only the emotions that can really lift you. You have to understand that since I'm never thinking about it, I'm really using my emotions to think. I realize I'm using my heart right now, and I push my heart into people, and I see 5,000 people down there. I realize no matter what, I see them, I can read every single one of them and what they're doing. I can read everybody here with my emotions. The blink of an eye, I can understand who I'm speaking to right now. And guess what? It's all making sure no matter what, you understand there is a better way. You have to understand there's always something more that you can do today to improve your life, and that's the whole point of prosperity. Honestly, you just always live your talk. You make sure you're living your talk. I love your dogs. When I was no matter what, it's always beautiful to have much more in life. You have to understand you have something more, and you understand no matter what. I never have dogs in my life. I never have pets in my life because guess what? I have to travel and I have no time for them. You have to understand that. Grant Cardone says never have pets because when you have pets, you always have to clean their poop. I realize I never have to clean their poop anymore because I never have pets in my life. I never need pets in my life. I just have I and have Jesus. So I have Jesus in I. I realize that Jesus is much more important than I. Although since I have him, I realize I'm always following him because he's my mentor. Whereas I follow Jesus because he's in my heart. Whereas I'm always a person who understands freedom. I'm always a person who understands to absorb the crowd around you because that's the best way to live life. You have to live life. You have to understand you lift yourself when you're lifting life. You have to understand. You go and do something very amazing today because prosperity is found inside of you. And when you understand leadership, you understand how to encourage too. Most of the word courage has also encourage. And to encourage is to encourage yourself and encourage yourself to understand to always lift yourself in sureness and certainty to make sure you're mentalicious today so that you understand that mentaliciousness is vigor. You have to understand to go and be vigorous in your communication. You go be something of quality and interest, and you make sure that no matter what, you're public speaking in a way that's going to help you to grow. You're growing in a way that's understanding, and no matter what, you're going to be disciplined about it. You're going to be the best version of yourself, and that's the whole point of living life. Right, it's just about living life in a way that's going to help you. You're helping yourself to grow. You're helping yourself to expand your comfort zone. And that way you understand there's always freedom in you right now to understand you can do something such as I today. You just have to learn more. You have to learn more. You have to learn more. Probably no matter what, when you learn more, you'll find how to prosperity. You understand that learning is prosperity. Or else no matter what, you guys can see me in the next video. I make sure no matter what, you guys show me around. And make sure no matter what, I'll see you guys in the next video.